Hello, this is SJ Talks and Live coming back at you. Hoping you guys having a blessed day. It's a beautiful day here in Michigan. I think it's about 70 degrees or close to it. It's a beautiful day. Beautiful day here in Michigan. Beautiful day. Mm-mm-mm. It really feels warm. The climate is still, I don't think the climate has changed quite yet. We're still in the winter climate, I believe. So it feels really, really good. It's like a heat wave. Anywho, I even took my jacket off. Anywho, Dawn Robertson of En Vogue is homeless. She's homeless. She said something about she made a choice to be homeless. So she said this. She said that she said she was living with her mother, but she wasn't getting along with her mom. And I have a lot of questions floating around in my head. She said that I did watch her video because she does have a YouTube channel. Go over there and subscribe to it. She's one of the members of the En Vogue. I love that song "Free Your Mind." Oh, that's one of my favorite songs of theirs. It's got such a great message in it. But she said that she made a choice she was staying with, I don't know if it was her ex-husband, and she didn't want no. I don't know. She said that didn't work out. She actually did a video talking about it. Go check it out. But I'm not understanding why she's homeless. I do understand, but I don't understand. She did some movie works, little small roles in movies. I looked up her Wikipedia. She did some television, but mostly it was the group En Vogue is what she did for many years. She's living in a car, and she said that she's able to prioritize and get things together, and she said it's not a bad thing, to her. She said she doesn't consider herself homeless, but she is in fact unhoused. you know um yeah you know um it is. I mean, you don't have a house. A car is not a house, or it's not an apartment. It's not an ideal living situation, but a lot of people are living out of their vehicles and things like that. But when a celebrity, someone that was in a singing, a famous, En Vogue was a pretty famous singing group. When someone that was in such a successful singing group at one time, it's like a little shocking when it's a celebrity. Like I said in the video that I did the other day, if you did, I'm going to link that video to this one. If you didn't get a chance to catch it, I was talking about the federal job cuts and how people were celebrating these people and happy about these people, or not having any remorse, not feeling bad about these people, not having any empathy about people losing their job. And I also talked about people's judgment of people in poverty and stuff like that, people that are poverty and things like that. So I'm gonna link that video up to this one. But in that video, I talked about there's different reasons why people are homeless. Everybody has a story, or low income, or in a certain place in their life. Everybody has a story. I was making the point that everybody has a story. And I was talking about how some of the people, this channel name by it's called The Invisible People. It's a real eye-opener, and he interviews a lot of homeless people, mostly in California. And some of these people were doctors, they were lawyers, and just life happened, and they wound up on the street. So homeless, when you think of homeless people, you think of uneducated, you think of drug addicts, and people tend to have the tendency to think that everybody that's homeless, they're drug addicts, or they're winos, that was an old stereotype back in the day, a wino, or they were uneducated or lazy. That stereotype gets tacked on to homeless people, that they're lazy. And all those things are just some people. While some people are on drugs that are homeless, there's lots of people that are homeless that are not on drugs. And so life just happens. Some of those people that he interviewed were doctors, they were lawyers, they had degrees, they had bachelor's, master's degrees, and teachers and things like that. But life happened. Life happened. Okay? And they winded up being homeless. And so homeless people come from all walks of life. And so it's surprising, but it's not surprising because of this video is not about homelessness, but I want to talk about the music industry, how shiesty the music industry is. The music industry, because before Angie Stone passed, she did a video, and I did a video playing the little video clip that she put on, and she did a video talking about how, the music industry beat her out of a lot of money. They beat her out of a lot of money. She said she should have been, when she passed away in the tragic automobile accident, she was coming from a date in Alabama. She was coming from she was touring, and she was coming from a date. And she was basically saying in that video, I should have retired 20 years ago. I shouldn't be still out here. That's what she was saying in that video. She should have retired 20 years ago if she had gotten the money that she was supposed to get. So what happens is a lot of people are speculating, well, because it's kind of suspicious because she was the only one that passed in the accident. That kind of does raise a red flag. And so people are saying that they got, that's a whole nother video. I don't really want to really get into all that. But people are saying that they got rid of her because allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly. I will say allegedly. But a lot of people, it does raise a red flag because she was the only one that passed in that accident. And this was right after she was talking about the music industry and how they were beating her out of her money in that. Now, we've heard this many times before. If you watch the New Edition movie, the New Edition biopic, it's very, very detailed. It goes into detail how they wasn't making a lot of money and they wasn't getting paid, and some of them, they talk about it that now. The group TLC, they also had a biopic, and they was out there winning awards, and on YouTube I'm sure there's a clip of them at an awards ceremony that they were being interviewed, and they were saying we don't have any money. I mean, so they were very vocal about it even back then. And so if you watch both of those movies, you kind of get an idea how the music industry works and how they operate. And a lot of these artists from back in the day wasn't making the money. They wasn't making money the money that they were supposed to make. It makes me think that the music industry is a scam. Is the music industry a scam? The music industry is a scam. It's almost like it's set up for other people to be rich. It's like it's set up for other people to get rich. In these, because you're hearing this time and time again. You're hearing it time and time again how these artists are getting beat out of their money, and it's the same story. That's why I don't. My son was trying to be a rapper, and I was like, I didn't want him in the industry like that. And I kept asking my son. I said, well, if the rapping thing doesn't pan out, what are you gonna do? And he's like, well, I'm gonna produce. So, okay, that doesn't work out. What you gonna do? So now he's talking about getting a truck and I guess you can do deliveries like independently. So now he's talking about doing that. So that's what I said. Okay, that sounds like a good idea. So he's got in mind that he wants to do his own thing. He wants to run his own thing, business, and that's great. Um, but I told him, man, you got to have something to fall back on, get an education or whatever. I tried to, when he graduated, I wanted him to go to college, but he just didn't want to go. So he said at some point he might decide to go or whatever situation like that and take classes and that. Well, they eliminate the Department of Education. He might not be able to get no loan and no Pell Grants, but I ain't getting into that. But 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 when you get into the music industry, it's like you got to have something to fall back on, because the music industry is like it's like a scam, you know. And I said, man, I don't know if I want you signing no contracts with these companies. They seem like they're crooked as a barrel of rattlesnakes. And he was like, yeah, I'm thinking about going independent, you know. And I said, well, that might be, maybe people can go another route, but it's like it seems like people in the music industry are being taken advantage of. It's like you got a talent and you got a gift and you have a dream. And it's like these people in the music industry just take advantage of that. They take advantage of the fact that people have a dream and people have a talent and they have a gift, and they're taking advantage. Angie Stone also wrote, I watched her Unsung thing yesterday, and it said that she originally started writing for other artists. See, Angie Stone was a great writer. She not only wasn't a phenomenal singer, but she was a great writer. And so she wrote a lot of songs for when she first started, after she got out of the little rap group that they started out with. Are you guys aware of that song, Funk You Right On Up, or something like that? I remember that song back in the 80s. Well, that was her. She goes on record in being in the first all-girls rap group. Called The Sequence. I had no idea. Angie Stone was in that. So I was watching her Unsung, and that's what they said. And that song, Funk You Right On Up, I remember hearing that. I said, oh my goodness, I didn't know she was in that. Because I remember that song from the 80s. I'm giving away my age. But yeah, I remember that song from the 80s. So I didn't even know she was involved in that. That's crazy. That's amazing. But she goes on record and being part of the first all-girls rap group. And so she wrote stuff for that group. She wrote for the group Vertical Hold that she was in, which I love. And they only did 2 albums. And you remember that song? If you guys, I'm a fan of the group Vertical Hold. But if you remember the song, it seems you're too busy. Seems you're much too busy for me. Well, she was dating one of the guys in the group, and he was always in the studio, and so and not spending enough time with her, and that's why she wrote that song. I never knew that. I was like, that's crazy. I didn't know that. So I learned a little bit more about her watching her Unsung last night, and so Angie Stone was a amazing writer. She's not just a phenomenal singer, but she was an amazing writer. She wrote a lot for when she got out of the group, the Sequence group, she started writing for other artists. Before she got in the Vertical Hold, she was writing for other artists. And so she's supposed to be getting money for all that. She's supposed to be getting royalties from all that. She's supposed to be getting royalties from those songs that she wrote and the songs that she sung and all that. So she's supposed to be getting a lot of money. So she was correct in saying that she was owed a lot of money. And that's what I'm saying. The industry is a scam. It seems like it's set up for other people to get rich. Everybody gets paid but the artist. And then the artist just keeps getting screwed years and years and years on down the road. That's pretty sad that she said in that video that she should have retired 20 years ago. That's pretty sad. And then she was still out there touring and stuff. I mean, she should have only been doing that if that's what she wanted to do. She shouldn't have been doing it because she had to do it. So that's really sad. So I'm like, these artists, and now we hearing about Dawn Robertson, living in her car on the streets. That's what's wrong with that picture. So that's what I'm saying. Well, when you're in a musical group, it works a little different when you're in a group. That because I learned a lot watching that TLC, especially the TLC biopic. I learned a lot. And when you're in a group, let's say y'all make $100. That they pay y'all $100. That's y'all salary. After they get done taking everybody else gets paid. In the music industry, everybody else gets paid, and then y'all get what's left. Let's say they pay you in a group, you in a singing group, and y'all made $100, and there's four of y'all. Okay, well you got to split that $100 four ways. That's $25 a piece. Or if it's $100 or $500, okay, you got to split that $500 four ways. So see, it works a little differently when you're in a singing group. Like whatever royalties and stuff that they have, I think it was four of them. Was it four of them? They have to split it. They have to split it. So that's little different from a solo artist. So that's what I'm saying. It's the music industry is a scam. It's like they're just scamming people. And so that should be a cautionary tale for people that's thinking about getting into the music industry, because that's what I'm saying. It's almost like they don't want artists to talk. They don't want the artists to talk because they don't want up and coming artists to get hipped to what's going on in the industry, and then they don't sign or whatever the situation is, and then they don't make any money. So that's a big threat to them, because they don't want up and coming artists to get wind of their shystiness and then have second thoughts of signing a record contract, thus preventing them from making money. It's like it's set up for everybody else to make money. And that Clive Davis, he's a crooked as a barrel of rattlesnakes. He's crooked as a barrel of rattlesnakes. All these other people in the music industry is making all this money. But what is the artist? Yeah, Angie did work under Clive Davis. Yeah. Yeah. And did you know that they can take an insurance policy out on an artist? The artist signs these. Sometimes they sign these papers because Angie Stone said she wasn't educated on a lot of things, and a lot of the stuff that she was signing in that she didn't realize. That's why you need an entertainment attorney, and not everybody can initially afford one of those. But sometimes the artists and they play on the fact that you're excited. They play on the fact that you're excited. Oh my God, I'm gonna have a record contract and I'm gonna be this big star. And usually when people are signing contracts in that, when they're in contract negotiations with a record company, they got stars in their eyes. They're overthinking, and they have stars in their eyes. And they're thinking, oh, I'm going to be this big star. I'm going to be winning all these awards or whatever. I'm pretty sure that most majority of them are overthinking, and they got stars in their eyes. And they're so preoccupied with, oh, I'm going to sign a record contract. I'm going to be a star in that. They don't pay attention to the fine print. You know how they always say, read the fine print? They don't pay that no attention. So then they go to signing all these papers. They say, okay, they say, sign this document here. Sign that. Go ahead, sign that. And they don't read it. They don't read it all the way through. Okay, what's this mean? And then they can, if you ask them what does it mean, or they can just give you a little brief thing. Oh, this means that run some stuff off to you. Okay, and then you sign it without reading the fine print. One of those documents is an insurance policy that they put on the artist. And then they may even tell the artist, this is an insurance policy. If in the event of your death, we can, and the artist is not thinking that they're gonna off me. They're not thinking that. They might have knowledge that that's what they're signing, but they might not be thinking that they're gonna get rid of them. You know what I mean? But yes, they have these artists sign insurance policies, and then they gotta make it look like an accident. Allegedly, I gotta throw allegedly in there. Allegedly. Music industry is demonic and it's crooked. And we hear more, and it's mighty funny. Every time an artist speaks out, Prince spoke out, Michael Jackson spoke out, they're not here. They're not here. I don't remember Whitney. Whitney used to, in the various different interviews, I've seen quite a few of her interviews, and she said things about them. She spoke out on certain things in the industry, but they got rid of Whitney for a different reason. I'm not going to go into that. Check out Leola Brown, Bobby Brown's sister. Go to her YouTube channel. She gives you the full lowdown on what went down with Whitney and her daughter Bobby Chris. Yeah. She gives you the full Leola Brown. She's here on YouTube. That is her YouTube channel name. Go to Leola Brown, Bobby Brown's sister, because she worked with Whitney. And so she will give you the full lowdown. And she wrote a book too. I haven't got a chance to read her book, but she wrote a book. Yeah. I ask that God keeps his hands on her and protect her. Okay, because she exposes a lot. She'll give you the full lowdown. But with Whitney, it was something different. Michael, we all know he had those catalogs. He had the Beatles catalogs and that. It wasn't just about him speaking out, but he had the Beatles catalog and the Sony thing, catalog or whatever. Okay, they wanted to get their hands on that. Yeah. The music industry is greedy. It's greedy. And God will definitely deal with them. It's greedy. It's demonic. And they don't care nothing about nobody. It's greed. And it's demonic. And they take advantage of people because people have a dream. People have a gift and they have a dream. And they take advantage of people. And that's why I told my son, I really don't want you in that industry, honey. And when I was initially telling him, I knew a lot then, but I know even more now. So I really don't want him in the industry. I said, Edmund, if you could try to go, I don't want him signing no contract. I don't want it. I don't want him to do it. But it's up to him. He said he might end up on the producing side, but I don't know. That might be risky too. If people decide they want to get their hands on, I don't know. And if folks get jealous in that rap world, people get jealous. So it's another element to that. In the rap sector of the music industry, folks get jealous. They get jealous. And they feel like you other rappers, and they feel like you doing better than them. They're going to try to take you out. Because there's a lot of rappers that done got unalived because somebody was jealous. And it could have been another rapper that was jealous because he was doing better than them, and they decided to get rid of him. And that's why I told my son, I really don't want you in that industry. I don't want you signing no. And he's like, well, I might try to go independent, but it might be something to that too. And then there's still that jealousy element. So I'm just really praying that he chooses another line of work. I just open up some type of business that don't, stay prayed up. But the music industry is demonic. And it's wicked. And they're greedy. Very bad combinations. And so that's why I said people need to be cautious before they sign these contracts. They got to be really cautious, and they got to be prayed up. Hit me up in that comment section. What do you think? Yeah, Dawn Robinson is homeless right now. And I'm hoping, pray that she can get on her feet. And she said it's a good thing, that she made the decision to live in her car, because she was living with her mom, and that wasn't working out, and some other people, and she said it wasn't working out. So she said she's going to get in a car and live in a car for a while, save some money, and refocus, and try to go from there. So I pray that she can get on her feet and that. But people are going to be judging her and dogging her, especially the red pill and all this kind of stuff, and it's sad, but you know how that go. Okay, hit me in the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are. Okay, I'll see you guys. Talk to you guys later.